just put the kettle on. I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea. What would we do without tea in this country? Despair, probably. Look, I wanted to tell you this funny thing that happened to me the other day, and it's all to do with hair wearing, and my fears and my thoughts and my feelings about it, really. I'm going to make my tea and I'll be right back to have a nice little cozy November chat with you. I really was looking forward to coming home today and having a nice cozy November chat with you with a nice cup of tea in front of the fire. And I can now think about lightening my layers somewhat. I'm wearing green satin today. Why not? Green, dark green satin in autumn is a lovely thing to wear, with Screen Legend, of course. And I wanted to tell you about this funny thing that happened to me the other day. A couple of days ago, I realized I had a new follower on my Instagram account, and when I clicked on the new follower, I realized that it was the first ever boyfriend I'd ever had. His name is Leonard. He lives in the US now, and we haven't seen each other since we were between 15 and 17. He was a couple of years older than me, and he was my very first boyfriend and lived across the road. And it was wonderful a few years ago to get back in touch with him. We message now and again. I've sent him a photograph of what I look like now, but of course, having seen the Instagram account, I assumed that he pretty soon realized that I had a YouTube and is probably watching this video now. And I just want to say that my very first reaction to realizing that he found my photographs, I felt like, and knowing that, you know, I put everything online, I mean, you know, not the accounts aren't private. Anybody can come along and have a look. But as an observer of life and people and of myself, I was very interested to see how I responded to that. Initially, I was utterly horrified and actually blocked him straight away. And the reason I did that is because I felt like he'd discovered this shameful secret, my female hair loss. I really wanted to portray myself as close to my 15-year-old self as I could. You know, and I was very grateful to be able to send a photo or share a photo of myself looking presentable and looking the way that I wanted to look. A few years ago, when we first got in touch with each other, we did video calls and stuff, and I wasn't wearing hair at that time, but my hair was much thicker. However, as you know, over these last few years, what with hormones and you know, operations and all of that sort of thing, my hair loss has taken quite a significant toll, where really I don't feel that my current hair in its natural state is presentable, and it's not particularly something that I would want to, on an ongoing basis, be dealing with. And yet it was very interesting at how alarmed I got and how quickly I blocked the poor guy. And he's, of course, watching this video, and I wonder whether he's come across female hair loss before. I wonder whether any members of his family or partners or anybody he knows, perhaps a work colleague, suffers with it or chooses to wear it, you know, for convenience and for aesthetic reasons. I wonder whether he's familiar with the concept. And I wonder what he really thinks and feels about the fact that it's something that has happened to me and that I choose to wear hair. I wonder what he really thinks. I think that when you bump into somebody that you knew in your teenage years, or even in your 20s, you know, when you were young, I mean, there is a part of you that really wishes that you could present yourself as you were, and to show that you haven't really changed that much, and you've still got your youthful looks, and you know, you're still like you were, you still are virile like you were, etc. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be restarting that relationship. My goodness, too much water has gone under the bridge for that. But it's funny the way we are timid about presenting ourselves the way we are, as we are, you know, the age that we are and everything that goes with that. A lot of women my age who are 53 have got grey hair, and they have got much less hair than they used to when they were younger women. I think that's a pretty normal thing. And yet, I would kind of prefer it if he didn't see that, you know? If he just sort of believed that this was my hair. So look, Leonard, this is how I look today, but you can go and have a look at the other videos and you can see what has actually, you know, how time has affected me, and what I look like now, what I really look like as an early 50-something woman. We can't really hide our aging. I mean, I've never had any cosmetic surgery on my face. I barely even wear any face cream, you know. I mean, and actually, to tell you the truth, I think most products are kind of a waste of money. So I've never really gone into it in any big way. I mean, this is pretty much, you know, the way things are. I've got a little bit of loose skin on my neck, you know, I've got a lot of laughter lines, a little bit of sort of aging skin around here. But of course, wearing the hair is very youthifying. It makes a huge difference to the way you look and present yourself. You look much younger, you look, as a result, healthier, you know, more youthful, more robust. I feel that as we get older and our hair starts to grey and it becomes finer, and, you know, we lose the colour somewhat in our faces, you know, even our eye colour kind of dulls a little bit, I think, with age. We have this tendency to appear as though we're gently and slowly fading away from the physical plane, you know, and looking less firmly rooted in our physical bodies. I think that's what it is that I'm trying to convey. And actually, often when we adopt practices to make ourselves appear younger, it's that we want to appear more present, a stronger presence, more robust, more rooted, you know, in our physical life. That's how it feels to me anyway. I don't know what you think. I mean, have any of you ever had the experiences where you may have, for example, been sitting in a restaurant and saw somebody sitting across a few tables away and realised that you knew them from when you were young? And did you feel this desire to get away or to hide? Or did you feel quite comfortable with how you are now and actually went up and said hello? When I was younger, women who were grandmothers were depicted in all the storybooks, etc., as having the little grey bun at the back and the lines on their face with the little round glasses, probably sitting there knitting. I don't think that's the sort of grandmother I am. I think that depicts more of a great-grandmother in this day and age. You know, I always joke that when I go and see my granddaughter, you know that I've seen her because she's covered in glitter. And I like that. I like that, and I really want to speak to that in this video, because although I'm getting older, along with all of my peers, and generally speaking, the state of the world is becoming more and more precarious. you know, as time goes on, there seems to be less and less opportunity for expansion in life generally, and you can see the effect of that on people's faces and how they present out there in the world. It's very easy to allow that to get the better of you and to become quite glum about it. There are many women, and I've observed this as I've been living my life and, you know, going through my ages and stages. There are many women who would think it sort of foolish to focus too much about how they look. They would never wear anything like this. They don't really want to focus on their presentation, and they don't really want to be putting out any particular kind of message out into the world, into society, into the people around them, and even the people that see them in the street, people that they don't necessarily know. And I've always felt that was there was nothing wrong with it. First and foremost, I must stress that everybody makes their own choices according to what works best for them. But what I'm trying to say is that I didn't feel that was working best for me. I felt that I was becoming grey, I was becoming invisible, and I wasn't being a positive role model to my daughters. I didn't want to be overweight anymore. And I didn't want to always be dressed in black. Quite shapeless clothes that were more about camouflage than anything else. I was always very grateful to find something that fitted, but never had the luxury of choosing what I actually wanted to wear. And as a result, and a kickback against that in my own personal life, in my own personal experience, I got rid of all of my black clothes and I started wearing colour. And my neutrals now are cream, and if I wanted to go darker, it would be charcoal. And the bright colours of summer, the rich colours of autumn. In the darker months, I want to present myself dressed in colourful clothing. Maybe even, some might say, a little bit over the top, overdressed, some people might say. Now I'm not, you know, going out in high heels and stuff like that, although if the mood took me, I certainly wouldn't rule that out. But I think overall it's very easy to sink under the weight of life and not to value anything frivolous that may be perceived as being frivolous to do with your appearance, like many women have done that I've observed before. But when I started to focus on lifting up my appearance or improving my appearance, it was as much for those around me as it was for myself. I wanted to focus on hope and joy, enjoyment of life, where, you know, it wasn't all about just the heaviness of life and duty and work and pressures of life and getting older, aging, that sort of thing. All of those things are still very much part of my life, and I think about those things every day. And the more pressured I feel, the more motivated I am to get up, dress up, show up in my life as a means of not allowing those things to get the better of me. I don't want to be that grey, invisible woman. I'm not doing it for ego or vanity. It's more of a philosophical and political response to how difficult life can be. I'm not ready to be so focused on the difficulties of life that basically it's the only thing that I think about and everything else has gone out of the window. I don't want to give up on the joy of living and the simple joys, the daily simple joys of getting up and putting something pleasant on that I enjoy wearing, where when I see my family or my friends or just walk down the street, people look and say, she's doing okay. Her mood seems to be buoyant. Maybe things aren't as bad as I thought they were. I don't know whether what I've said makes sense to you, and I'd be very interested to know what you see in your life around you. What do the women in your life, and of course the men too, how do they show up? Are they well dressed? Are they well put together? Do they value what some might perceive to be frivolous? As a statement, a conscious statement, to the world to say, I'm not dead yet and you haven't beaten me, so just let me know. Yeah, yesterday I was online and I started to root around to have a look at the wig companies that I frequent, to see what they had in their clearance section, and I came across 3 styles that I am desperate to own, and own them I will. Let's have a look to see what I found. I went on to a few of my favourite websites, only about 3 of them though. I do look at plenty of others, but I like to jump onto the naturalimage.co.uk website because I really like Jaclyn Smith, Paula Young natural image wigs. I think that they are pretty acceptable standard for very good price, and I like to go onto the clearance section and play a game with myself to see what I can find for as low a price as I can manage. So things like this catch my eye, but then when I click on them, I pretty quickly realise that they're not really what I'm looking for, because this one, for example, Poise by Natural Image, comes in sugared silver and rich ebony, neither of which I particularly want at the moment. So I just had a look. There were only 3 pages of clearance wigs. £129 may be quite good for a Raquel Welch wig on clearance, but it's more than what I wanted to pay. My 2 previous purchases, Misha and Heidi, really, really lovely, and they were under £50 each, which I find quite good. Betsy by Paula Young caught my eye last night. Checked her out, only to find that she came in either 101 or 30, neither of which I wanted, unfortunately. And then the last page, I saw Carrie, £49. I think that looks like a good option. Carrie is a Noriko wig. Noriko, if you don't mind permatease, you can certainly have good results with Noriko. I tried to buy this one yesterday because I actually think £49 for this is pretty good. But unfortunately, I couldn't add it to my cart because I couldn't select the colour. There was nothing happening with that. I think it's probably sold out and they haven't updated their website. So Natural Image didn't give me any results last night. So I jumped onto another website, Hot Hair. They have got a clearance section. A lot of the styles on Natural Image are also on Hot Hair. They're probably under the same umbrella company. But as you saw, if I go back a page, I came across a lovely little bob called Spotlight by Jaclyn Smith. They had loads of colours available. Look at all these, absolutely lovely. I thought Soft Honey. It says here, shown in colour Wildflower Honey. It's going to be pretty similar. But who else finds it difficult to gauge the proper colour of a style with these swatches? So this one is SF1228 Soft Honey. Can't really see much. Some of them, for example, this, I believe this is Auburn Sugar, looks like it's rooted, but I don't believe it's a rooted colour. So in order to find more of an idea of what I would be buying, I would go onto YouTube, put in Spotlight Wig Jaclyn Smith, and there was only one review of the actual style Spotlight. It's a channel called Coco's Hair Solutions, and I really love the reviews. And look,
it covers me very well, but it feels a little loose. The upper back is
this one is in
half,
honey, and I think it's beautiful.
4.5 inches. So here, let me.
And she gives it a really thorough going over, does different styling options, tucks it behind her ear, all the things that I would want to see if I can get out of that style. It looks really, really promising. I dare say I'm probably going to buy this. The only thing that's stopping me at the moment is, do I get it in a soft brown or do I get it in a honey colour? I've been looking for blonde bobs for a while, but now that we are in autumn winter, I'm wondering whether something a little bit darker or perhaps a little bit redder might be a nice idea. We will wait and see. The nice thing about buying something in a paler colour rather than a darker colour is that you can actually root it in a way that you can't root the darker colours. So £80, 10, okay, it's probably twice what I want to pay, and I would consider it a really good day's work, you know, to find a bargain under £50 for a style like this. I dare say, you know, at some stage in the near future, they will be making some proper reductions, but I would pay this at the moment. There was also another one. She was called Encore. Let me show you. Here she is, another Jaclyn Smith wig, £85.50. Now you may remember from watching some other videos, I have got this colour or a very similar one. So this one is champagne, and you do get champagne quite often in Jaclyn Smith wigs, but the one thing that we don't get often is seeing it in a rooted colour, and this one has got a root that is a number 10, and I think enhances that champagne colour so beautifully. I've got Red Carpet Style in this rooted champagne colour, and I was able to check it out, and I think actually it's a very lovely colour, and I would love to try out a longer champagne colour wig for myself. I think this is very beautiful. Okay, £85.50 isn't as good as I can do, but it's good enough. It's good enough for me at the moment. This is another one that I'm going to buy. Now these two at this price aren't too bad, but I was looking at Mimo wigs. Now, one of the reasons I really like Mimo wigs is because they very cleverly offer payments in installments for your hair. And I think that is a very good way of buying several styles or something that is a little bit more expensive than what you'd usually get. So when you make your purchase, you make that first installment. So for example, if I was to buy this today, it would cost me £95 and then a further 2 installments of £95. Just before Christmas, I'm not so sure that I want to go for that option. However, the likelihood is that I'm going to buy Alden. It's an Aesthetica design style, but I will ask for it to be my Christmas present that members of the family can chip in and give me it as a nice present. Now, £342, I think that is a considerable cost. It's certainly not something I would just buy off the bat without serious consideration. Klarna makes it so much easier to purchase. And I discovered the Aesthetica design colour Caramel Kiss with a root of 4, and here it is. Don't you think that's lovely? Now, if I go back to YouTube and go Alden Aesthetica design, which is what I did last night at length, I came across Atypical 60, and I am a fan. I do watch her reviews lots. She describes it as Julia Roberts hair, and look, I love it. The reason I love it is because it's full. It's got a lot of fibres. It's dense. I don't remember this lady's name, but basically she's saying that if you had full hair, your bio hair before it fell out was nice and full and you were comfortable having lots of hair, actually Alden is a very good bet. She puts it up, she wears it half up, half down in a bun, and she does review it on further videos as well. Another favourite is this channel. Look at how lovely. How lovely. I think it's got tremendous body and movement. It looks like you've had it in rollers and the curl has loosened off a little bit. YouTube is such an amazing resource. And I think Alden has been out for quite a while. And who doesn't know Taz's Wig Closet? She does very in-depth reviews that enable me to really look to see what I'm going to get. This is most certainly going to be what I ask for my Christmas present. And this is the sort of thing I do every now and again. Let my imagination roam and think about nice things that I can buy myself in a manageable and responsible way, because I certainly don't want to get into debt or get into trouble by overbuying things, particularly if they are, things that I've already got lots of. So I try and have a balanced view, but the reality is that wig fibers do wear out. You can certainly continue to put conditioner on them and to wash them and to treat them well, and they will last for quite a long time. But of course the longer fibres like this are going to have wear and tear. So certainly I'm going to ask for Alden for my Christmas present, and I will wear her on very special occasions. I've had a very lovely cosy day at home today. When I came back from going to the butcher this morning, I just stayed home in front of the fire, just trying to rest. And of course, I am going to go back online and decide which one of those 2 less expensive pieces I want to actually acquire. There's always room in my life for another bob, that's for sure. I don't really have enough bobs in my wig closet. But then that long champagne coloured one, the rooted one, was also divine. and I'm very curious to see what I actually look in it. How would I style such a light colour? I know that that light, cool champagne colour that's rooted goes very well with my skin tone. I'd be very, very curious to actually have it and try it. But we'll have to see. What do I actually go for? Your suggestions are always welcome. And I'm going to unblock Leonard. I mean, the cat's out of the bag now. He's watched the video, he's seen the pictures. Let's just unblock him, and tomorrow is another day. And actually, speaking of tomorrow, I've got friends and family coming over, the little baby's coming over. I've got outfit decisions, hair decisions, and I'm going to really enjoy having a nice social day tomorrow. Uniwigs got in touch with me recently and asked if I would be interested in reviewing toppers for them. And I happen to think that Uniwigs toppers are really good. The real hair is very good quality, and I've really enjoyed the two that they sent me before. So I look forward to starting my collaboration with them, and I'm expecting the first piece to come, and it's a wide base one. I'm really looking forward to reviewing it, but it does mean also that I'm going to be starting to upload more frequently. I really loved uploading every week. I very rarely missed a week for a while there. When the granddaughter came, I found that my time and energy were taken up with my daughter and granddaughter. She's going to be 6 months in December, and I think that I'm going to get a little bit more time back. So I really hope that you continue on this journey with me, and we can continue discovering more about hair wearing and about ourselves. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon.